Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and we're coming close to a new year. So I hope everybody keeps safe during this New Year's Eve coming up and have a happy new year. And I'm here to talk kind of the end of the year. I want to talk about first some of my favorite movie performances that I saw. And I'm doing it kind of award style where I'm going to give you some nominees and then give you the winner of some acting categories. Some of the best and some of the worst, in my opinion, of the year here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well here on a Friday evening. I went and visited my parents this last couple of days. I just got back a couple hours ago, so I'm still a little tired from the drive. And nice getting to spend some time with family. Got some gifts. Got to give some gifts. So now I'm back home trying to do some videos at the end of the year as tomorrow's New Year's Eve. And first I wanted to go through some of my favorite and worst performances of the year. I thought I'd do it with movies here on this video. Then tomorrow I'm doing a live stream doing my top 10 worst and best movies of the year at 11 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time. Anyway, so stay tuned that tomorrow as I talk about my favorite and least favorite movies. So first, when talking about performances, I always like to start with negative and go to positive, I guess. So I have one category where I'm just going to name the worst performances of the year that maybe that's mean to talk negatively about performances, but I don't know. It just feels like I need to talk about the ones that I just thought were pretty terrible. And these are really good actors a lot of times. They just sometimes give really bad performances. First, in each category, I've nominated 6 different actors. In this category, worst performance, it could be actor or actress, but actually all 6 are actors on this category. Anyway, so I'm going to give you the nomination of 6 different actors and their performances, and then I'll give you the winner. So first, we got Robert Pattinson for the Batman. I know, surprise, everybody's like, oh, Robert Pattinson's so good as the Batman. And when the Batman was coming out and they announced that Robert Pattinson was the Batman, I immediately was like, oh man, this sounds like a bad movie. Like, I don't know. I have a picture in mind what Batman should look like and kind of his physicality. And Robert Pattinson just doesn't fit what I think Batman should look like. I don't know why. That's a weird thing to say. And I don't know. But everybody loves this movie. It's one of their favorite movies of the year a lot of times on these YouTube channels I'm watching, and everybody kind of praises Robert Pattinson as being like this really great Batman. I thought he was absolutely horrible. He was the worst part of the movie. Almost really brought the movie down for me. He was this very emo, and maybe it's not his fault. It's maybe the director, though I think the director is a good director, Matthew Reeves. But I hated the whole emo Batman who hardly talks, and he was not really that nice of a guy. And but Robert Pattinson just never looked like Batman to me, so I put him on the worst performance. Second one is Tom Hanks for Elvis. Again, Tom Hanks, my favorite actor in the world. He was terrible in Elvis, playing Colonel Parker, Elvis's manager. He had like a fat suit on. He had a weird accent, and it was a terrible performance from a really great actor. But I had to put it on here. I really was not a fan of it. Third, I got Russell Crowe from Thor: Love and Thunder. Here, Russell Crowe plays the Zeus, the Greek god Zeus, who kind of runs this whole area where all the gods come together, and he's kind of the main attraction, I guess, and runs everything, and turns kind of into somewhat of a bad guy in the middle of the film. But Russell Crowe gives this very weird performance, his weird accent again, and I don't know, Russell Crowe maybe just can't be funny because they really tried for a comedy in this movie. And his trying to be comedic didn't work, and he just looked terrible, to be honest. I heard he grew his own beard. Anyways, instead of getting a beard, he just grew it out. He grew his hair out a little bit, but they give him kind of this, skirt thing, because of their Greek kind of thing, and he just was very out of shape, which is very, I thought didn't fit Zeus, because Zeus was supposed to be this very, Greek guy, supposed to be very, strong and sculpted, and Russell Crowe usually has a pretty good build, but he's getting older, of course. But I don't know, he just looked out of shape, and the performance is just weird. The choices he made when he walked down the stairs, he lifted up his skirt. I don't know, it was like it must have been choice that he thought was comedic, but it wasn't funny. It was just weird. Anyways, yeah, and it was very off-putting. Next, I got Ki Hu Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Here's an actor who he was Short Round in Indiana Jones: The Temple of Doom, and then disappeared from acting for a long time. I think he did some movies here and there, and then now he's coming back with this movie. And in fact, he's probably going to get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars. And I even hear he's a frontrunner, which just totally shocks me because I think he's totally terrible of an actor. And he's the worst part of Indiana Jones: The Temple of Doom, which is a movie I don't really like. And a lot of that is because Short Round is one of the most annoying characters ever created. And looking at it, he's not really an actor. He was kind of the guy that just happened to be around, and he said, hey, you want to try to audition for this? And he did, and he got it. And then now I'm thinking, oh, he's not really a trained actor at all. And then even watching this, I just thought he was very annoying throughout the whole movie. So I got him here. Okay, fifth, I got Barry Keoghan, who's in The Banshees of Inisherin. And mostly his character Dominic is just the most annoying character I've seen on screen this last year. And I thought it was just a really terrible performance. And I think Barry Keoghan, whatever, is probably a good actor. I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but I just didn't care for this performance. And then sixth, I got Jason Momoa for Slumberland. This I count as like maybe the worst miscast I've ever seen of this whole year. He's playing a very comedic character in this like kind of fancy dreamland. And it just doesn't work, I think, as this trying to be a totally comedic guy. I mean, Jason Momoa is this huge, muscular guy that plays, superheroes and Hercules and stuff. And I don't know, he just didn't work as a comedic character. I feel like they need to get more of a comedian into that role. And so I thought he's just terrible throughout anyway. So those are my 6 nominees. And the winner for worst performance of the year for me goes to Russell Crowe for Thor: Love and Thunder. Yes, he really, when I saw Thor: Love and Thunder was a bad movie and lots of bad performances, but man, he, like I said, was just really weird performance from a guy who I think is a really good actor. And it just befounded me when I watched this movie, just how terrible all his scenes were anyway. So, yep, sorry, Russell Crowe, you're my worst performance of the year. All right, now I'm going to go to Best Supporting Actress in a movie. This is my favorite performances. First, I got Zoe Kravitz for The Batman. I thought she was really good as the Catwoman character, Selena Kyle, I believe her name is. And Zoe Kravitz is I've seen a couple times now, and I think she's like really becoming really good. I seem to enjoy her and everything she's in. I think she should be in more stuff, or she is probably going to be in more stuff. I'd definitely like to see more of her. I think she's very good in this movie. Next, I got a name I'm not going to pronounce right. I have a couple names I'm not going to pronounce, but it looks like Jaquita Talley for Pinocchio and the Disney live-action Pinocchio, which I was a fan of. And she played this new character who helps Pinocchio when he gets he works for Slamboni, whatever, in the puppet show, and she's a puppeteer, and she kind of becomes friends with Pinocchio, and she helps him out. And I really liked this character, and I thought her performance was really good and really pivotal to the movie. It made me like the movie anyway, so I had to put her in here. Third, I got Charmaine Benoit for Emancipation. Of course, movie about slavery. She plays the wife of Will Smith's character, and we see her having to work the fields and with her kids and try to keep her kids away from danger. Anyways, and she's not in it a lot, but the scenes she's in, I think, is so good. And I thought she gives a very good performance. A performance no one's going to talk about. She's not going to get nominated for anything. Emancipation is not getting nominated for anything. It feels like it's kind of going by the wayside, which is too bad. I thought it was a pretty good movie, and all the performances are really good. And she's one that I wish could get a nomination, but very good here. Fourth, I got Joey King for The Bullet Train. And Joey King had a pretty interesting year. I saw her in another movie called The Princess. I don't know her, but she's been in some stuff now. Bullet Train, another really fun movie. And she plays kind of this mysterious character who uses her good looks to try to pretend like she's harmless, but she's actually an assassin in the movie that you find out anyways. And I thought Joey King did a very good job. And since it's one of my favorite movies of the year, I wanted to nominate somebody, and that was one that I threw in there. Fifth, I got Jennifer Connelly for Top Gun Maverick. Again, Jennifer Connelly is a solid actress. Has been in a lot of stuff. Haven't seen her lately, I don't think, but Definitely someone who always gives a good performance here. And Top Gun Maverick, it was an okay movie. I enjoyed it for the most part. And there's a romance between Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly that was done well. And yeah, definitely enjoyed her in this one. Then sixth and last one, I got Leah Brady for Violent Night. Again, she's a little girl in the movie. I don't know how old she is, but she's definitely the youngest one on this list. But she was one of my favorite parts of Violent Night and kind of gave it more of the emotional parts of the movie, I think. And I really enjoyed what she did in it. So I'm putting her on here because I enjoyed that movie, and she was one of my favorite parts anyway. So that's my 6 Best Supporting Actress nominations. And the winner for Best Supporting Actress in a movie goes to Charmaine Bingwa for Emancipation. Yes, as I said, a very underrated performance. No one's talking about it, but I thought a very powerful one, emotional at times, and I thought she should definitely be talked about more and considered more. I never seen her before in a movie, don't know much about her, but of course it's a very emotional movie dealing with slavery, so it was a good movie to really show yourself. But yes, congratulations to you, Charmaine. You get the Jason the Old Millennial Award there for Best Supporting Actress. All right, Best Supporting Actor, I got Paul Dano for The Batman. He plays, not to spoil the movie too much, you probably know though, he plays the Riddler, kind of the main bad guy. And Paul Dano is an actor I've really enjoyed about every performance. He's good at doing kind of crazy performances, I feel like. He can always go top notch on the crazy line. But very good actor. He also was in The Fabelmans, which I thought he did a good job in that movie as well. But I really loved him here in The Batman. He kind of goes very eccentric at times and really plays Riddler differently than I've ever seen it. More like a crazy serial killer type. Anyways, but yeah, he definitely elevated that character. One of my favorite villains in Batman movies, and really was probably my favorite part of the Batman was his performance. 2, I got Jim Carrey, who played the Riddler actually in another movie. So I didn't think about it until I was just now reading it. Like here we got a former Riddler, Jim Carrey, but this time I'm nominating him for the Sonic the Hedgehog 2. He is definitely one of the best parts of that movie. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a movie I really enjoyed this last year, and a lot of that's because of Jim Carrey playing Mr. Robotic, I think his name is, Dr. Robotic, the bad guy in the Sonic video games and in these 2 movies. And Jim Carrey definitely still has it. It seems like he kind of disappeared for a while, but now he's still just as funny. He's still got, even though he's gotten older, he's still got the physicality, comedic physicality, and definitely provided a lot of the best scenes and laughs in the movie. Did a really good job here. 3, I got Brian Tyrese Henry for Bullet Train. Again, love Bullet Train. There's a lot of actors here, a lot of great supporting performances, I would say. And it's a combination of mostly comedic performances with a little emotion in there. And Brian Tyrese Henry, to me, was probably my favorite out of all of them. It's hard because he was in there along with, now I'm forgetting the name, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Him and Aaron Taylor Johnson played off so good. Could go to either one. I'm getting to Brian Tyrese Henry. I think he had a better character arc overall. I loved his character in it. Very funny and has some emotional moments too. But he's one I feel like is really rising up the ranks, I think, as an actor. And I like to see him in more stuff. So I got him here for Bullet Train. 4, I got Colin Farrell for The Batman. This time he was playing the Penguin character. Cobblepot, I believe. I don't know if they called him that. I believe that's what he goes by. Oswald Cobblepot. What's crazy about this is that you don't even know it's Colin Farrell, and that's what's so crazy about this whole performance is he's got so much incredible makeup on that really hides who he is, but yet he kind of still comes out with this great performance. And another villain during the movie, one of the main villains of the Batman. And the fact that I know part of it's makeup, but still, I give a lot of credit to him for totally disappearing into this role, and you know it's him. So I have to give it to Colin Farrell. I thought he was really great in the Batman. 5, I'm giving to Ben Foster for The Emancipation. Ben Foster, another actor I've really enjoyed over the years. It seems like every time I see him in a movie, I'm always like, all right, Ben Foster. He's always a really good performer, good actor, and I always enjoy him. So it's no surprise here when I saw he was in Emancipation and playing a pretty terrible human being, working for the Confederate Army and tracking down Will Smith's slave character and doing some pretty horrendous things during the movie, but still, obviously, very good performance from him. And then six, the last nominee is Rainn Wilson for Weird the Al Yankovic Story. Another one of my favorite comedies of the year. William Wilson plays Dr. Demento, and he does have that look. He does look a lot like Dr. Demento. He has the top hat and the tuxedo that Dr. Demento would wear, and he definitely sounded like him, and it was very funny throughout the movie. So I had to give it up to Rainn Wilson. Was a really good part of that movie. So the winner for Best Supporting Actor for the year for me goes to Paul Dano for the Batman. Yes, I just couldn't not when I think about all these great performances. I just kept coming back to Paul Dano, just that Riddler and just how he played him, and how at the end in the jail when he was going crazy and kind of freaking out. I mean, again, a guy that I can't believe he hasn't been nominated for. I don't know if he's been nominated for an Oscar, but he's a guy that I feel like should get an Oscar someday. He always gives out these great performances. So yeah, so that's Paul Dano. You got a Jason the Old Millennial Award. All right, then we go to Best Actress of the Year. First, I got Haley Bennett for Cyrano. Cyrano was a musical of Cyrano de Bergerac. Actually, it came out last year, but it didn't actually get into theaters till February this year, at least in Kansas. So I'm counting it as a 2022 movie, even though officially it's like a 2021 movie. But Haley Bennett playing the Roxanne, the main actress, Cyrano is pining for. And she does a lot of great musical numbers here, and she gives a really great performance. Really, I'm surprised nobody talked about it this last year. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. Had some great emotional scenes throughout the movie, and really, with Cyrano, of course, carried the movie, I thought. Not that Haley Bennett, just really great performance. Second, this is going to be a surprise, but I really like this performance, and it's Sherry Moon Zombie for The Munsters. And Munsters is a movie that's on everybody's worst movie list. It's not a good movie, but it's not one of my least favorite. I have it's a lot more worse movies than that. And there's some funny parts to it, some parts I liked. And a lot of that is to the actors. I thought did actually a pretty good job. Sherry Moon Zombie, who plays, now I'm forgetting their names, but she plays the wife of Mr. Munster. Eddie Munster, is it? I don't know. And knowing The Munsters, the TV show, I thought Sherry Moon Zombie did a great job playing that character. I thought she actually did a good comedic job. Her movements, the way she talked, really reminded me of the original actress in the Munsters TV show. So I thought she did a pretty good job nailing that character. So I put her here. Third, I put Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. Though I wasn't a fan of the movie, Michelle Williams always is a great actress. And so, and she definitely has a lot of emotional scenes in this movie, a lot of crazy scenes. So I just thought I should put her in here for that. Fourth, I got Jennifer Gardner for The Adam Project. Again, another actress who I think gives solid performances, known mostly for romantic comedies, but she does a good job, and I thought she did a pretty good job here in The Adam Project, one of my favorite movies of the year. And she had some good scenes with Ryan Reynolds, some good emotional sequences, and always really liked Jennifer Gardner, so I put her here. Fifth, I put Elizabeth Olsen for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Magic. Yeah, kind of a strange place to put it. I wasn't sure if she may be supporting, but I don't know. She's in it enough. I'm going to put her in actress, even though she's really the, spoiler alert, she's the villain of the movie. But she does a really good job being a villain. She does a good job being very scary during the movie. And it's probably one of the worst villains we've seen in Marvel. And Elizabeth Olsen's just given solid performances about every movie I see her in. Anyway, so I thought I should put her here in Doctor Strange. Then six, the last one. Here's another one that I don't know if she's a lead actress, but I liked her so much I put her here, and that's Even Rachel Wood for Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. Again, love this comedy, and she's plays Madonna in it. I thought she really nailed the Madonna character, the young Madonna in the 80s. And I love, she's not in a lot, so she probably is not a lead actress, but I had a hard time thinking of anybody else, and I wanted to put Even Rachel Wood somewhere, so I put her here in lead actress. Anyway, so yes, so that's my nominees. So the winner for Best Actress of the year for me goes to Haley Bennett for Cyrano. Again, this was a movie that came out maybe last year, but I didn't see it until this year in the theaters. It's actually the first movie I saw in the theaters in the last 2 years. And man, she gets such a great performance. That last scene with her and Cyrano, Peter Dinklage, it's so masterful, very emotional, and she also sings very well in the sequences. I thought overall, yeah, definitely was one of the big factors pushing the movie forward, anyways, and was an important character to everything. So yeah, so congratulations, Haley Bennett. You got Jason the Old Millennial World. All right, last category, Best Actor in a Movie. And first nominee is Peter Dinklage in Cyrano. I just talked about Haley Bennett, my favorite actress of the year. Peter Dinklage, always great. Of course, Game of Thrones. I love him in that. He gives the best performance I've ever seen. And he still gives a great one here, Cyrano. Interesting look at the Cyrano story with him being a little person. And Peter Dinklage still just knocks it out of the park and has a lot of great scenes here. Two, I put Ryan Reynolds for The Adam Project, which is kind of a strange one. Ryan Reynolds is known for his comedic performances, of course, and of course here I'm putting both dramatic and comedic. And here he does look comedic, but he actually has some really good dramatic moments, especially him and Jennifer Garner, who plays his mom in the movie, kind of. He has the one emotional scene in the bar that it really resonated with me. One of my favorite scenes of all year of him talking to his mom, but his mom doesn't know it's his son, and he's kind of sorry for the way he treated her when he was a kid. Such a great performance. I thought I had to put Ryan Reynolds in here for one of my favorite movies, of course. Three, I put Austin Butler for Elvis. Now, here's a performance that's probably going to get a nomination for Best Actor. It was definitely one early on in the year, kind of mid through the year. It was definitely one everybody talked about that could probably get nomination. And yeah, what can you say? Austin Butler. Don't know much about him, but he definitely looked like Elvis, sounded like him when he was singing, moved like him. I wasn't a fan of Elvis, but I had to give it to Austin Butler for doing such a good job portraying that character. Fourth, might be a surprise, I'm putting Will Smith here for Emancipation. I gave the actress who played his wife Best Supporting Actress, and put him. Of course, Will Smith is under a lot of controversy because of slapping Chris Rock last Oscar, so he's not going to get nominated. Emancipation's kind of, no one's talking about it, but it's just too bad because he gives a really great performance. I would say this is my favorite Will Smith performance of all time, and I think he's given a lot of great performances. He just won last year for King Richard, which was an okay performance. I think this was way better than last year's performance for King Richard. And he really surprised me almost how good it was. He's playing a runaway slave, but oh man, he just looks different to me, and he has the accent, of course, and some of the emotional scenes that just really got to me, and he did such a good job. No laughs at all. It's just a totally, really dark, dramatic performance here, and does an absolutely amazing job. Fifth, I'm putting David Harbour for Violent Night, which is another more comedic performance, but I really like David Harbour. He's also in Stranger Things. He's great in that. One of my favorite characters there. And so I'm really high on him, and I had so much fun with Violent Night. David Harbour playing Santa Claus, who then ends up killing all these guys that hold his family hostage. Again, he gives some really funny, cheesy lines, but he really carries that movie and makes it really fun. Great casting there. And then sixth and last nomination, I'm giving to Daniel Radcliffe for Weird Al Yankovic Story. Again, I'm a big fan of Weird Al Yankovic Story. Here, Daniel Radcliffe plays Weird Al, which you're like, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, you think of him as Weird Al. It seems like a weird casting choice, but man, and he's not doing exact, it's of course a very silly movie, so he doesn't have to do an exact impersonation of Weird Al. He has the hair and the mustache and everything. But man, he is absolutely hilarious. That's what really gets the whole performance through, is that I didn't realize how funny of an actor Daniel Radcliffe is, but he is a good comedic actor. And now I kind of like to see him more in comedies. I don't really see him in that much outside of Harry Potter, but he turned out to be great casting for this movie. And obviously it's about Weird Al, so he really carries the movie and really makes it a fun movie anyway. So I had to put Daniel Radcliffe in here because how much I enjoyed that performance in the movie anyway. So that's my 6 nominees for Best Actor. So the winner for Best Actor of the Year for me will go to Will Smith for Emancipation. Again, Best Supporting Actress went to his wife in it. Emancipation is one of my favorite movies of the year, as you can probably tell. Will Smith, it's crazy. I never thought I would put him here because I'm still mad at what he did at the Oscars, but yet I have to give it to him. Seeing this movie, he really got to me emotionally. And he has one scene, which is one of the best acting scenes I've ever seen, where he gives a very emotional performance. I always say that. I'm saying that too many times, but he really does. And he's crying and he's telling the story. And you're just like, wow, he's so good. I wish he could win an Oscar, but he's not going to because of what he did, which is too bad. He did it to himself. But I have to separate myself from that controversy and just say, going just by performance, this was one of the best performances of the year. It's the best performance of the year for me, and one of the best I've seen in a while. And really great for Will Smith, who's really and hitting his stride. Just won an Oscar, and he's given another Oscar-winning performance in this. So if he ever kind of gets out of this controversy, it'd be interesting if he still puts up some really good performance like this. So Will Smith, you get a Jason the Old Millennial Award for Best Actor. So anyway, so that's all my performances for the acting categories. Again, tomorrow I'm going to do my 10 best and worst movies. I'm also going to do the same thing for TV next week sometime. So, yeah, tell me what you think. Are these performances that you thought were any good? What was your favorite performances of the year? I'd love to read them. And just thank you to everybody for watching the video, for liking it, and to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all, and I hope you have a happy new year.